configuration of voices and demands for justice. I'm just an ordinary person from Tegwane, neighbor with Gwambe, our villages, where Ubaba Uhavan Mpof comes from. It saddens me to see such young people whose lives have been wrecked by Robert Mugabe, an elderly, scrawny, skinny, concocted person, because he is not a real person, he is concocted, to be so vile and be so cruel as to crush the lives of his forefathers, his fathers, and himself, and his children. Because this is what Gukurahunid is all about. It is not individualized. It is transgenerational. So the challenge before us is, how do you then make sure that the pain of the Gukurahunid ends with us here? It's not translated to the young baby that I saw. Look at this baby. And we ask ourselves, what is it that we should do to ensure Mtalo lives a much freer life than a year to that is traumatized? So these are the challenges that we have. So the size of this project, and these words I directed them to the organizers, the 1893. And let me say this before I go far, that the challenge is not so much about how you mobilize and grow 1983. The challenge is, how do you recognize those other people who are doing other things elsewhere in line with what we are doing, so that we become more inclusive than exclusionist, where you are saying it's about me, my group. It is not about you and your group. It is about us. Tina bantu Matebele land. But that's where the major division is. Ibabo, Mandere, Isusu, Mashon, who is not the ones who coined this. Mugabe, who coined this when they broke away from ZAPU. They coined it in tribal division as an inheritance from Ian Douglas Smith. Divide the black and white people and rule them. Mugabe inherited it in 1980 and divided Amashon and Matebele. And in any case, ever since 1963, that's what they're working towards, dividing Abantu as if they knew they will eventually rule. So it will be easier to rule a divided people. The tragedy is that Abantu Amashon don't want to concede. The fact that Gukurahunid was a tribally motivated thing. Forget about destroying ZAPU. I'm sorry, ZAPU. Forget about that. I can argue until cows come home that this issue was not just about destroying ZAPU. If it was about destroying ZAPU, why are the miseries of the Gukurahunid still with us today? Why did not end in 1987? In any case, the Gukurahunid operatives said it to us, said it to him, Ababe Kona. Silibulalela ukuthi la tshontsha inkomo zababa mkhulu bethu. Ungabuza ukuthi ngublom nguplensi ngubani, they could not answer. La tshontsha lokuze naba okholo bathatha lokoko bethu ababe bahle babe izibomvana. Wabathe ukuthi umfazi ngaba isibomvana namuhla ukodla abanye ngubani. Ungabuza ukuthi ngubani wayithiwa ngumabani owathathwa ngukhokho wami ngokuthi wona wabuye vele mina nwanza ake ngiye eGoli mina ngivele emapungubwe lapha ngikhala ngale lekuzeni le mapungubwe I civilized empire ema 1000. That's my background. So how do I then inherit this? It is not true. But this is a created ideological slant that is meant to empower them and disempower you to accuse you. And at this point, we need to explain the word dissident was coined because for our friends' sake. The word dissident, you've been hearing it coming out from the various presenters. Including MDC. It is the word that was used in 1983 to describe those that were anti-ZANU or un-ZANU. And the word eventually, though in civilized societies, dissent is not a hateable thing. Dissent is an acceptable thing. But in our context, dissent meant that you were anti-society, you were anti-ZANU PF, you were anti-Zimbabwe. So it was not confined to the few who were hounded out of the united three armies, the ZIPRA, ZANLA, and the Rhodesian army. The word dissent or dissident was then used to, in fact, refer to every person from Matebele land. Whether you were old, you were young, you were a baby, you were a dissident. Or unborn, you were a dissident. Or still in the planning process, you were a dissident. So a dissident will bear other dissidents. And that is why the killing rate was so high. The idea was that make sure that they don't produce much of other dissidents. If this investigation were to be done, and we come out with the true figure of the people of Matebele who were slaughtered by Robert Mugabe, do you know that the population of Matebele now could be 10 times, 15 times, 20 times what it is now? Yes. And those who do mathematics, they can tell us about progression to say, if you start with a figure, by the time you give a lifespan, a time span, the figure will treble, quadruple, and so forth and so forth.